What is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 252. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
What's up, people? How's it going?
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
Yo.
Adam Vale.
What's up, humans?
And, of course, Mr. Brian Manjoma.
Live and not in blackface.
Yeah, oh, man. Yeah, we're going to cancel Justin Trudeau now, man? What's up with that?
Oh, that was a blackface.
Yeah, no, they called it brown face, but
because he was doing Aladdin. He was at an Aladdin theme party. I think, you know what, just to get on that real quick, because I don't see the big deal.
Adam.
Wait, I'll tell you why. Because it was the theme of the party. It's one thing when people were doing blackface just showing up. That's mad racist. Because the whole thing of being blackface was racist. Because we already know the whole, they didn't want black actors, so they painted. That's fucked up. But if this is an Aladdin themed event, he was just trying to be real authentic. Everybody was all dressed up. He just went the extra mile, but it wasn't to be offensive.
To be fair, though, you could play a light-skinned Aladdin.
He was a teacher, man. He was a teacher. He was teaching makeup. It's okay for Hollywood people to do this shit. Hell, Tropic Thunder, Robert Downey Jr. got an award for doing that shit.
Yeah, they're trying to. They try to get him on that every few months. By the way,
people from that area can be all sorts of colors. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But from the movie, he's trying to match the character.
The movie character was fucking like Justin Trudeau color, though, man. Like light, you know.
I don't know. It depends on which.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm taking this side.
Yeah. Anyway, we're back once again. I'm on camera. Fix my shit. Literally, all it takes is unplugging and replugging it. And for some reason, my camera just decides not to work every once in a while. It's fucking stupid, you know.
It's the future.
Yeah, it is the future, isn't it, man? But I think my lighting might be fucked up. Whatever. Who cares?
Nah, you look fine.
All right, that's good. Yeah, I agree, Glorious War. I completely agree with that. All right, so let's get into it. Kind of a mad week, to be honest. But we got some good stuff. First up, Gears of War 5. Did it flop or not? So this is interesting about this game, right? So I believe there were 3 million people playing it, right? Which is a lot of people, right? Yet, only, and I'm going to pull out the numbers here so I get the shit right. I don't want to fuck it up, you know? The game, and this is for the UK, by the way. The game sold 23,000 copies, right? I'm not going to guess how many it sold worldwide, but my question to you guys is this the Game Pass effect? Because I think it is.
Of course, it's Game Pass.
Because the game didn't sell for 3 million, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't sell 3 million, but then they had the place. And I think what they're thinking of is sort of like the Planet Fitness model of here's something cheap, everybody get on it, and hopefully you don't cancel after a month because it's so cheap and it's not breaking the bank. And I think that's what they're hoping for. Because if, let's say, even if they got like 100,000 people that just subbed for Gears, if they stick around 2-3 months, there you go. They're making their dough. And I think that's what they're trying to do. So they're not dumb. They know that this was going to impact sales at first. Even though Uncle Phil was talking about, he thinks this type of service is going to help game sales. I don't think so. But I think it will help with subs because people are like, all right, I got it. It's in there. And then the next month, maybe they don't finish it. It's like, it's going to roll over another $9, whatever. But I didn't finish it, and I'm not paying $60, and I got all these other games. I'll stick with it. Yeah, and I think that's what's going to happen. So I think they're thinking long term. So I thought it was all right. 3 million, that's a big number of people playing this shit.
Yeah, my question about that is, like, how much of that revenue does, the coalition, not the website, the coalition see? You know what I'm saying? Because they're not selling $60 games anymore,
No.
You know?
It's Microsoft owned, so they probably already got paid. They don't give a shit.
Yeah, you're right about that. They got paid already, so. That's
what I'm saying. It's an in-house, so they're like, don't worry, you're all good. You're all getting your paychecks this week. Oh, okay. Yeah. And I'm sure there's probably some kind of bonus depending on how many plays.
Yeah. By the way, Techno Fabulous is joining us, so you know what we got to do, right?
Happy birthday to you.
No, not that.
My bad.
Call it Duty. You already know, man.
By the way, Adam.
Yeah, it's Adam's 67th birthday tonight, though, man.
Thank you.
That song is problematic, man. You can't.
No, it's free now.
It's free again.
It's free now. Yeah, it's free again.
I'm gonna buy this shit tomorrow. Then nobody can have it, man.
It's a public domain. It's a price.
Yo, but anyway, man. So here, my other question is, do we need to for Game Pass games specifically? do we need to judge their quote unquote success by a different metric than we do like normal games? Normal games, obviously, hey, it sold 3 million copies. The shit is banging. With this one, it's like, hey, you had 3 million people playing. Like, do we need to change the way we look at these things now?
You need to change the metric which we
The Don metric, you know.
Excuse me?
I mean,
Yeah.
how do we even do that? Because then it's like you're hoping that the numbers of what they're reporting of how many people are playing it are correct. We don't know. It's almost like Netflix. We don't know how many people watch any of those shows on Netflix.
Wait,
So,
are you
yeah,
suggesting they're lying about those 3 million?
They could be bullshitting about all kinds of. We don't know. I mean, people say, well, we can go based off of what we see on Mixer and Twitch and YouTube. You can go based off that, but even then, not everybody that's playing is streaming.
Yeah, it's interesting to me, man.
I think.
Go ahead.
I think Microsoft would be just satisfied with the number of recurring subscriptions they have for their service. I don't know. The games themselves that they release for these platforms are, like you mentioned, the Netflix model. It's like, okay, we released Bird Box and it did this much, you know, like these numbers. So you know what is getting people to play their games on that service. So I think that's how they're going to measure it. Like, is the service like at a place where we're profitable, and what games are the ones that are engaging people the most on these services? And if Gears is one of those games that is enticing people the most to Game Pass, then it'll be successful regardless of how many numbers it sold or whatever.
Yeah, because think about when holidays coming up, right? We got the holidays coming up. I'm sure we're going to see a bunch of people giving out Game Pass subscriptions, 2 month, 3 month subscriptions, stuff, as opposed to just buying one game. So I don't think they're going to see any increase in any of these actual and individual game sales. I think it's just going to always be Game Pass, and that's what they want. They want people to just keep doing this because then hopefully those from the payments of the 2-3 months just roll over and continue to roll over because it's not that expensive.
Yeah, here's something interesting. When you see the ads for Gears of War 5, it, you know how with the part where it always says Xbox One or whatever, it doesn't say Xbox One, it says Xbox Game Pass. Very interesting, right? You know, the green part. I want to read something.
Because you also play it on PC. That's why. PC? They don't want to avoid, you know.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. I want to quickly. Well, first, I want to give a shout out to Glorious War for the bits. You know, and he says,
"Happy birthday, Glorious War."
He says,
we forgot it was last month. He posted on Twitter.
Oh yeah. Oh shit.
No.
Happy birthday to you, man. And a happy pre-birthday for next year in case I forget.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Okay, he says, bruh, Gears of War 3 sold 3 million in 1 week. This is a massive decline for Gears 5 when it's on Steam and Xbox PC for $2. Yeah, but it's, 3 million,
Yeah,
kind of.
that's the $2, but that's assuming that this is just to get people in the door. That, like, let's say if all those people then cancel after that, then yeah, that sucks because everybody. But that's not how it works. People don't do that shit. They let it roll over. They let it lapse or whatever. They don't give a shit.
Yeah. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, no, you're right about that. I agree. Yeah, they just let it keep going. I mean, that's what I did with Netflix. I never even watched Netflix.
A lot of people do with all these fucking services.
Yeah. Techno Fabulous says, I don't think we need to change the metric. When you are losing, you have to change the metric to make yourself look good. That's what he says about Xbox Game Pass. Damn.
I think what it is you got to change the game. That's what happens. People that are losing change the rules. They change it to fit their needs. You have to, and that's what they're doing.
Blue Ocean.
You know, and it's working. It's working with the Game Pass. Now we got all these other services popping up here and there, and we got crossplay. They really opened up that door, and look, we got Call of Duty doing all this stuff, and now there's rumors that Call of Duty is offering cross progression. People are reporting that they can play on both of them. They're playing the demo, and the shit is carrying over from the beta. It's crazy. That's what we really want. That's all I really want. I kept talking, not so crazy about the whole cross progression though. Because think about it. That means that if I'm playing a game on Game Pass on the Xbox, and then if I actually have the game on a PlayStation, then I can sign in and all my shit carries over. I won't have to start over. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's happening. Yeah, people are finally getting on the ball about that because remember when the whole Fortnite thing was going on, I'm like, okay, you guys going to ask this for the other big multiplayer games? Nobody said anything. Now they are. Now they're demanding. It's like, oh, shit, we get it on Call of Duty too? Really? Shit, I want that.
Gotta be in it to win it.
By the way, just for the... Oh, go ahead, Carlos.
Also, Gears does have cross progression between PC and Xbox.
See? Look at that. That's cool.
Yo, by the way,
Go ahead, brother.
I mentioned this on Twitter. Xbox Live does a way better job of managing your saves between consoles. Like, for example, I have an Xbox One S and an Xbox One X, and I was playing on one, and I progressed the story on one of them, and I went to the other one, and I was at the same spot. I didn't have to do anything. But with freaking PSN, you have to fucking go to the console, download the save from the one that got uploaded before, and then play. It's like, man,
There's nothing. You got to do that even with the trophies still. Even with fucking trophies, you have to do it. It doesn't automatically upload it to the system. You have to do it. I don't understand that.
yeah, man. Xbox better than PlayStation.
Oh, hot take. Yeah, Chris, what's your take on this whole Game Pass changing up the narrative, so to speak?
I think this is us seeing further into the transition to Xbox as a service.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're not caring about regular sales anymore. They're not going to use it as a metric, which is why they haven't been giving us those. We're always asked every time I do a financial analysis, I can't find the goddamn numbers, right? And then they talk about, oh, this so many hours spent on Xbox Live, so many shots fired in the latest game, whatever it is. It's like, oh, people want to hear how you're selling, but now, and when Phil Spencer said, I think in that last interview that, our success isn't measured on this. I'm like, you just want to be a service. Like, that's it. Like, he's signaling it. I don't know why they're still making the Scarlet. Like, I don't understand that.
They're just trying to appease to the people that just haven't accepted it. I mean,
No,
but it's like that with all this stuff. Remember,
just
Office
push the
went
X
as a
and that's
service.
it. Yeah, and then just push everyone to PC. Why not? Like,
Yeah.
it already
I
did
think
it.
the PC's still not perfect, man. I'm having my issues.
I think that's where yeah, you're right about it. I think that's where the issue lies. Is like, if you're going to push everybody to PC, not everybody is savvy on a PC. I think they're just looking to have this ecosystem that just spreads as wide as possible. So it means it's like, hey, it's on tablets, it's on your PC, it's on an Xbox, it's everywhere. Xbox anywhere.
Right.
Yeah,
The ecosystem is fine and stuff, but not these established things. Like, why introduce a piece of hardware which you are kind of competing against yourself? Like, PC guys are not going to go out and get a Scarlet. They're happy where they are. Tablet people are not going to get a Scarlet either, right? If they could play Xbox that way, then that's how they're going to consume it, right? So it's just weird to me. Like, then put both feet in the water. That's what I think.
Yeah. Technofabulous says Xbox is a service. It's just about player engagement. Sales don't matter anymore. I agree with Chris 100%. So he agrees with you. Glorious War, shout out. Thank you for more bits, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Forza Horizon 4 had 2 million players on a more limited user base. No Steam, and sold more at retail. Yeah, so he's trying to say Gears of War is on a decline. I'm not going to disagree with that statement. That there's like no hype for this game at all. Except for like the hardcore guys. You're not seeing anything.
And even those guys are falling off.
Yeah, exactly. And don't get me wrong. Like the other,
I'm playing right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're still taking out ads. Like, when me and Manny were in the city the other day, we saw a big fucking ad for Gears of War 5 in Times Square. But it's like
when I watch wrestling, they have big ads throughout it because Batista, he's in it.
Yeah, but he's not even.
Well, Adam, you should tell people your Batista story.
Speaking of that, I got some issues. I got something to bring up with
Excuse
this
me.
shit.
Actually, by the way, this segment is the Gears of War segment. So go ahead.
There we go. Gears of War based on a true story. So this is what's going on. They announced that Batista's in the game, right? So I'm like, okay, Batista's in the game, right? He's a character. So then I load up the game, I go to character select. I don't see Batista. It told me Batista's in the game. So then I back out. I go back in. I'm doing this a few times. I'm like, something's wrong. Maybe the game's not updating. But then I noticed that for my skins, character skins, I got like some ridiculous amount. I forgot how many, but it's like double digits. And I know I didn't have that from the bat. So I was like, all right, let me see which ones have skins. So I'm going through all of them. I go on Marcus Phoenix. He has one extra skin. I select it. It's fucking Batista. Batista is a skin to Marcus Phoenix. So I select him. And what does it say? It says Batista Marcus.
Wow.
What does that mean? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, you want to know the crux behind that? You know, he's been jockeying to play Marcus Phoenix for like crazy amount of time.
Yeah. I get that.
I think that's what it is.
But he's hidden. It's like, why can't he just be a character? You know what I mean? Why is he a skin to another character?
Because he's Marcus Phoenix. He wants to be Marcus Phoenix. Does he have those dumb sunglasses, by the way?
The dumb sunglasses. He's wearing some fucking shit.
They keep showing like real shots of him like putting on some sunglasses and wearing Marcus Phoenix.
There's a few characters wearing some douchey sunglasses in this game. So yeah.
Can I complain about this game real quick?
Yeah, man. It's a Gears of War segment, man. Go ahead.
What you talking about?
Yo, man.
It's about a game. What you talking about?
For those people that are used to playing Gears games, you know, there's always the inevitable part in the campaign where they split you up, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, now we work. Oh, what's up?
Like they always do, yeah.
Mm-hmm. They always do it. This game is that, but the whole fucking game. It's like,
really?
We're gonna split you up here. We're gonna split you up here. We're gonna split you up here.
No, we were playing together. They split us up, but the two real players are playing together.
No, it's like it's either
we weren't with the AI guys.
It's either me and Adam get split up, or me and Adam get split up from the rest of the crew. Or me and Adam get split up from the rest of the other crew. It's like, goddamn, they do this all the fucking time, and it gets on my nerves. I know it's a nitpick, but goddamn, it's like, how many times are we gonna get split up?
Let's split up, gang. Let's not split up.
Yeah. Anyways, how's your Thursday?
Yeah. So yeah, what do you guys think of the game so far?
It's good. It has its problems.
Talk about that rage quitting. What's up with that?
There was no rage quit, but it did have issues, and this is what I brought up before, and it's on the stream that we had some issues. So there was one part where Carlos picked up some new tool, or it's like setting traps, the shock trap, and it prompted on my screen. It was like, oh, now this is how you do it, and it's showing me the mechanics. But when I tried to back out of it, it wouldn't let me back out, and the B button to back out was grayed out. So then he was still playing, and I couldn't get out of this weird menu system, And then we quit the game, and then we loaded the checkpoint, and I was back in that same menu. I couldn't get out of it. So the only solution was, when we backed into the checkpoint, I just selected a different character, and then I was out of it. And then it's just weird issues. There was another part, and I didn't bring this up before, but remember, Carlos, when I couldn't get through the wall, and I said my gun won't fit? I had picked up a heavy gun. Right, it wasn't one of my regular. I picked up one of the heavy guns from a big monster guy we killed, and then when I was trying to turn the corner, it was getting stuck in the wall, so it wouldn't let me turn to get through the doorway with this fucking gun. Like, they didn't even think oh shit, what if he had this gun? He wouldn't be able to go through the doorway with it. And then there was another part where I'm sliding down and I hit a barrier, and it just kept banging into the barrier. I couldn't shimmy past it to keep sliding. I just kept bumping into it. Eventually, I just kept bashing all the buttons. I think I threw a grenade at the wall, which hit me back.
Uh-oh.
And that sent me flying, and then it got me unstuck.
You're like, yeah, man, I'm out of the door.
Yeah.
That's puzzle solving. That's part of the game. What are you talking about?
There you go.
Yep. So, Adam, is it the butter game?
It's still a little butter game for me, but it's got issues. Because I'm playing it now. I still enjoy playing Gears. That's the thing. It's still Gears to me. It's just.
It's a roadie run.
It still has. It's got issues, and they need to fix these issues, and we're seeing more issues. So, but it's still a fun game to play with co-op, and talk shit and stuff.
It's Gears. They're really the formula has been the same since its inception, pretty much, and they haven't really changed anything.
Do you think the Gears, formula doesn't really work anymore in the modern age? Do you think it's played out?
It does. It does for a campaign, because the campaign is fine. I think people, anybody would enjoy it. I think the part that's and I haven't played this part yet, but I think the part that is critical now for these types of games is the multiplayer. That's the part that engages people and has people continue playing this for a long time, for months and months after
and that's
the game
been
launches.
Having issues, and that's what I think they're patching it today, or if it's next week or something. But there's a patch coming for it, and that's an issue, that it's not saving the stats and progressions.
Because the campaign, Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, because I think I brought it up last week where me and somebody, we got to wave 45 and then the shit just crashed on us and we're like, all right, whatever, now we'll start over. But then we realized none of our kills, none of the stats carried over. It all blanked out, which sucks.
Gears of War was a big franchise, mostly because its multiplayer had legs and people always wanted to play Gears multiplayer or even Horde mode when Horde mode came out. There's different games now that are part of the zeitgeist that people prefer playing now, that more people prefer playing, like Apex Legends and Fortnite and Overwatch, like those types of games. So Gears is not only, like, they're not really competing against the God of Wars or the Uncharted's, even though they have a lot of similarities, but they're not really competing against them because Gears, even though they have a really good single player campaign, they're mostly popular because of its multiplayer, and it's kind of like the Call of Duty situation, and they can't really compete against even a Call of Duty. They have their own little bubble, their own little niche where they stand alone as their own, like, separate entity compared to everything else. So I think that's the reason why this game isn't sort of permeating through the masses like it used to, because now it's got way more competition, and its competition is more fresh, more new than the old traditional Gears formula.
Yeah, no, I could agree with that. And people are, like you said, they're just fresher. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting, man.
It's the new hotness, man.
Yeah, it is.
One of those things is like, how long can you keep a franchise going?
Call of Duty's been going for fucking 10
that's
years
the thing.
now.
They keep changing it up. They got 3 different versions. They go in different realms and stuff. This is still the same world.
I mean, if you think about it, Call of Duty, the after Modern Warfare has been going on as long as Gears of War, and that's just still going.
Yeah.
Every year too.
But they're all in different worlds. We had the World War II one. We have the Black Ops one with this current one with the future version and with the the blackout mode, that whole battle royale. They're changing it up. Gears is still the same shit. It's still the same areas. Everything still looks the same. Doesn't look too different. Same thing with Halo. So I mean, they have to figure out a way to just change the environments that can freshen it up.
Yeah.
Because the thing about it, it felt like we've been in these places before.
Yeah. Well, one of the places we literally been in that place before.
Yeah, you see what I mean? So it's like, oh wow, well, not only does it feel the same, but it also looks the same.
Yeah, and it's pretty interesting. Like, Halo is the same thing as this. Like, it's like one of those things where, back a generation ago, this game was part of the zeitgeist where everyone didn't think twice to play the new Gears and like or waiting in line. Same thing with Halo, and they're going through a transition where it's like, how are they going to stand out against the rest while still maintaining the status quo? And that's the difficult part for Microsoft right now, because I don't think they even know what they want to do with it. And unless Halo Infinite changes something drastically, I don't think it's going to change anything. So, yeah, I'm not an enviable position to be in right now.
What do we know about Infinite? Isn't it just, I think it's supposed to be an open world, right?
Do you think it's also the idea is that's happening with these things is because the people that are doing these games aren't exactly the original people that did them?
Could be that.
And they're really just kind of harping off of what was done originally, as opposed to, like, I hate to throw Kojima on there, but every single Metal Gear game wasn't a remake of the last game. It was an extension. In other words, one game you're doing stealth in a forest, and you have you have to worry about hunger, survival aspects, and being able to blend and being seen or not. The later one, you have like a base, a base simulator where you're recruiting soldiers, and you have all kinds of other things, and you have a more open. Each single time he's kind of redone it still has some of the core aspects, but added these additional things.
Yeah, I think. Oh, go ahead.
Well, remember one of the main creators is part of this team from the original.
Ferguson, right?
Yeah, Ferguson. It was him and Cliffy. So it's like, all right, well, we still have that, but there is some truth to that because it feels like they're still sticking with what worked, as opposed to changing it too much. And yeah, then again, if you change too much, then people will say it feels like a completely different game, and then they would bitch. So I guess it's trying to find the sweet spot, and that's where they're finding the trouble.
I don't think there is some truth to it. I think all of the truth is on that because the original creators of Epic and Bungie, every time they not only did they launch these franchises, but every time they did a new iteration, they built upon them, and they essentially decided we're going to go on our own separate ways because we want to do something else, and that's the whole thing with Coalition and 343. It's like, okay, you guys exist because we want you to keep doing this, not because we want you to sort of branch out and take Halo and Gears into a separate direction and your own vision. It's like, no, we know what we have and it's been working, so we want you guys to keep on doing that. And like even for example, like Halo, it's like Halo 1 Combat Evolved was a great single player game, and it had multiplayer with LAN within LAN and well, it was on PC too, but just for the console's sake. And then after Halo 1, Halo 2 had, the multiplayer and Xbox Live and the parties and clans and stuff and rankings. And then Halo 3 had Forge and then Firefight, and then Gears the same. Like Gears 1 didn't have Horde, but Gears 2 did. And they all built and did new things. But now it's like they're not really doing anything new. They're just getting what worked 10 years ago and making it shinier.
Yeah.
Putting another backdrop to it. And yeah, it's they were essentially like created to fail because there's no way they can sustain this thing that they had, unless I think the only game that to ever prove that kind of sustainability is Call of Duty, and I still not 100% sure why, because
it's a shooter. People like shooting shit,
but they do the same shit all the time, and it's still one of the most popular games every year. And every time they change something really drastically, people complain like crazy. So yeah, it sucks, but
it's gonna be interesting to see where this franchise goes. Yeah, I mean, we still have that RTS version, the XCOM version that they're releasing, so that's going in another direction.
Well, yeah, Halo had an RTS game too.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't know how that one worked, if it sold well, the sequel. I never got into that one. I tried the first one and it just didn't do it for me. But I usually like those type of games.
But I mean, at the end of the day, the reason why they're making a Gears RTS is because they're biting off the Gears name. And if the Gears name
they're a spin-off. I mean, it's just like Mario, who can do fucking everything. Now he's in the Olympics again, and
yeah, but Mario will be a system selling game shit for the rest of our lives, maybe.
Oh yeah, easily.
Will Gears be a system selling game next generation? I'm not even too sure. Was it this generation? I'm not too sure.
We need Gears Kart, man.
Gears Kart, yeah, exactly.
Gears Kart, Super Gears Kart. There you go. A Glorious War says Halo Wars 2 was a flop. It sold less than Neo and US and PD.
See, there you go.
Yeah,
wait,
I mean,
was Neo a flop?
Even this
yeah, exactly,
folded, right? Because in the studio fold, and then they wound up going with another studio. Because that was the thing. There was one studio that was working on it, and then that studio folded, and then they wound up making another studio jumped in to make the second one. But I don't know. I don't know what justified them making a sequel to that RTS.
Yeah, I guess it's sold enough. All right, let's move on, man. I don't want to talk about Gears anymore. Let's move on to PS4 sales in America. So, as we reported, a while back, the PlayStation 4 has sold 100 million. This article specifically says 100 million units sold through to stores, right? So not individuals, just stores. Shipped, you could pretty much say. So that's the worldwide number. Now we've learned that America makes up third. Oh, there's Brett. Wait for him.
Right on time.
How you doing, man? Oh yeah, right on Brett time.
Oh, we're fashionably late.
It's just funny
I
to me
am
that
highly fashionable.
yeah, it's just funny to me that the one white guy on the show is the guy who's always late. You see,
Hey, I'm a colored person.
oh yeah, that is true.
I've been heavily colored. I'm the only. I'm the only.
Yeah, man. You and Justin Trudeau, man.
Oh, I'm just saying.
Bringing them up.
Yeah.
For those of you out there, heavily tattooed people, really the only people you can call colored anymore.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that.
We have been colored. I'm taking the word over. I'm making it right.
So Brett. So I'll get your take on this. So PlayStation's 30% of PlayStation 100 million have been sold in America. That's what the recent report says. It says 8 million in Japan, 7 million in Germany, and 6 million in the UK. Pretty interesting numbers. Even though if you add all those numbers up, they're not 100 million. So I don't know what other regions there are.
I find that kind of fascinating, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, Japan is obviously where PlayStation is going to sell the most because
no, it's not. America's going to always sell most.
Yeah, it's a bigger market.
Yeah,
well, and that's I guess that's where I'm going. Like, I'm always constantly surprised. Like, yeah, Japan has a shitload of people, and they have a lot of loyalty towards their systems and everything like that. But the European and North American markets are so huge that I would honestly expect it to dwarf the Japanese market more than it does.
Yeah, and think about it like this, because the PlayStation 4, it did good in Japan, but it didn't sell as much as the other PlayStations. It's probably the least selling PlayStation out there. It picked up afterwards, but yeah, go ahead.
What is the biggest? I mean, like, PlayStation
probably
is
2.
Yeah.
Well, I know currently. Like, I mean, currently the biggest console in Japan is the PlayStation, right?
I don't know. I actually don't know the answer to that. It could be the Switch for all I know. I think the Switch did outsell the PS4 already.
I'd be curious to see that, because I'd be curious to see what the market base of Japan actually is. Because yeah, if the Switch really did overtake PlayStation, that says a lot, and I can see it in Japanese culture, being that you spend less time inside in your own home. Like here we have big houses because we spend all of our time in them. A lot of Japanese culture, and somebody please correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. It's the idea of being out and about is pretty normal. More so, like it's weird in America. If you go somewhere and you have money and you spend it, you need to leave. If you have you go somewhere and you don't have money, you need to leave. And I'm not sure if maybe it's different in the big cities, but at least just about everywhere else, you're loitering otherwise. If you're somewhere and you're not spending money at that place, or you've already spent your money, you're loitering and you need to leave. So you need to go home.
Isn't that in most places? Like, I can't hang out at Noodles all day. I mean, they're like, yo,
that's what I'm saying. But in Japan, you can. In Japan, you are expected to be not in, because your house is very small. You're expected to be out in public for a majority of your day.
When I was there, I would go to the cafes and there'd be people just sleeping there.
Fuck. Hobos?
No, just
regular people. By the way, I'm trying to look for a Switch sales numbers in Japan, but total, this is as of June 30th this year, 36.87 million worldwide for the Switch.
So I have
Xbox.
Totals.
Where you at?
I have totals, but take them with a heavy grain of salt because they're from VG charts.
Okay, yeah.
So Switch sales in Japan, 8.82 million.
Wow, okay, so that's close to PlayStation then.
PlayStation 4 sales in Japan, 8.32 million.
Interesting.
So the Switch has outsold the PlayStation 4 in Japan.
Yeah.
Okay, and I know you're going to love this, Tony. I really think that this makes a huge statement on the portability of the Switch.
It's Japan, of course.
Yo, Europe, goddamn, Europe.
Yeah, hold on. Really, Brett, it's Japan. Did you not think the portable system was going to sell more? Come on, bro.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, it really shows how valuable portability is when you're willing to sacrifice power in exchange for that, and in places where people are more portable, it becomes more important. So I think it's a good metric to judge it. There's no better way to judge the value of portability in a system than the difference between North American and Japanese markets, because of the lifestyles that we lead. So I think that's a good way to show, like, yes, it's not just that the Switch is popular. It's not just Nintendo games. It is the features of the Switch that are making it heavily selling in Japan, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean that's why. Go ahead.
The biggest selling platforms in Japan are always the portable ones. Those are the
always.
highest ones. The DS, the
3DS.
Yeah. What's the European numbers, Carlos?
So you want to hear the PS4 or the
The
Switch
one that
first?
made you go crazy.
So the Switch has 9.86 million, which is higher than the Japanese sales.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a lot bigger area, and which is pretty good for a console that's been out for 2 years only. But fucking PlayStation 4 has 40, man.
Fuck.
40.74 million.
Wait, in Europe?
Yeah, more than North America.
Damn.
Dude, PlayStation dominates Europe, which is weird because you'd think that Microsoft, Xbox, would have a bigger foothold because, let's be honest, as America, the only thing we really export is fucking culture and entertainment anymore.
I know why that is, and it's one word: football.
Football.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. People love their FIFAs and shit over there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, they had bundles all the time.
Is that a PlayStation exclusive?
No,
It
it's
doesn't sound like
No,
a group.
No, it's not
Baseball is.
exclusive, but if you have the market share and everybody's playing FIFA or Pro Evolution on there, then that's what people are going to gravitate to. They just can play on there.
Oh, it's true. I'm laying the failure of Microsoft or of Xbox straight at Microsoft's feet. And yeah, I know what I just said. Because I mean, let's be fucking honest. Like, America exports entertainment. That is our thing. The fact that Microsoft lost that to a Japanese-based console,
Yo, man,
not great. Not great.
I thought our number one export was freedom, man.
Oh God, no, it's not.
You don't give that.
Not anymore. What was I gonna say again? Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Xbox. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought PlayStation always outsold Xbox in Europe.
PlayStation
I'm just saying it
always-
shouldn't. I'm just saying it should. I mean, look at like, where do most of the world's movies come from? Where do most of the world's TV shows come from? Like, we heavily export cultural entertainment. That is the biggest thing. Like,
Yeah, but let's just
our
be
movies
honest.
seen all-
Who does gaming better? The Japanese
that's
do.
Nintendo.
The Japanese.
I was
you
gonna
know?
say the Danish, but
Yeah,
Jap-
yeah. The Japanese do, like, it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, America exports like everything, but Japan has games on lock.
But dude,
you know?
you're old enough to remember when that wasn't the case.
What do you mean? Like,
What does it feel like?
think about
Dude,
it.
come on,
Western domination only really started in like the PS2 era. When I was a kid, it was nothing but Japan.
Well, but I know that's what I'm saying. But
Atari
there,
days?
no, I'm talking about the Western domination around the time of the PS2 era, where a lot of Japanese style of development fell out of favor, and they started taking cues from Western games. Like, there was a whole point of time for about 4 or 5 years where people were looking to North American developers for video games. Like, they were the high watermark. So yeah, Japan does do video games better, but it's not like they've always done video games better.
You're right about that.
It's a shifting thing.
And Brett, hold on. And Brett, think about this, which Manny and I have talked about. So think about this: Japan development fell off when they started trying to emulate Western games. You know, when they started doing better again. I'm talking about this generation specifically. When they decided, fuck it, we're just gonna make Japanese type of games. Then they started selling better again. Geez, I wonder why people buy Japanese games.
I disagree with that. They started to emulate Western developers because Japanese games weren't selling as well.
No, I don't think that's the way it worked. I think
I
they
have
were
a
trying to make their take on the Western, the shit that was popular in the West, and it just failed.
Yeah, because
go ahead, Manny.
they were doing that because Brett is partly right. It's because the Japanese games were not doing very well.
Yeah, so they were. Yeah, so I guess you're tied together. Yeah,
they're trying to entice Western audiences by doing Western sorts of games, but they're not working because they don't understand how these sorts of games work.
yeah. So I guess we're both right in that sense. But once they decided, hey, we're gonna make Japanese games again, then they started selling.
Yeah, and the thing is that also PlayStation, the current PlayStation, I think it has a higher adoption rate than the PlayStation 3 one.
Yeah.
It's true, but think about it this way: in an alternate universe, in Earth, 617 or whatever, Microsoft was ready to pick up the slack instead of dropping the fucking ball. Because remember, this is when Microsoft dropped the fucking ball, right? When they were not doing good on development, they first started down this track record. If they had been there to really push high quality Western developed games, first party games like Sony had done, we could all be living in a world where Microsoft was dominating most of gaming culture right now, but they didn't. They missed that boat, and Sony swooped in.
I have a question.
Uh-oh.
Question.
What?
It's for Mr. Polanco.
Yeah.
So obviously your preference are Japanese games.
Now. I'm half and half, you know.
Oh, okay. So then that answers my question.
I'm a half and half now.
Because I thought the way you made it sound is like it wasn't even close, and I'm like,
Oh no! Back in the day, it wasn't the Nintendo, Super Nintendo era.
Oh yeah, that era.
Japan dominated. It was around the PS2 era when I first noticed my gaming collection. I'm like, there's a lot of Western games in here. Manny, you know this. Back in the day, I was like, Western games are fucking trash. The only one I liked was Tomb Raider. Other than that, I'm like, all these Westerners cannot make any fucking games. They're all terrible. That's why when Xbox came out, I laughed it off. I'm like, what the fuck? You're not gonna make any games. You guys are stupid. The Japanese run this shit. But then I noticed, I'm like, I'm buying more Western games. What the fuck's going on? And Brett, going back to your point, this is what I found interesting. This is why Japanese games started falling off, right? And I don't understand why exactly, but basically, they had a really hard time making the transition from 2D to 3D. They had a really weird, hard time doing that transition. So the game started dropping off, and then of course they weren't really evolving the shit they had been doing.
So I know why, dude.
Yeah, why is that?
Because the Japanese love sprites.
They do.
They held on. They love sprites. They love chibi. They love animated, and that was a cultural phenomenon that extended their use of two-dimensional or 2D graphics way beyond the point where they should have honestly fallen off. So when they did move to polygons, they weren't as adept at building these three-dimensional worlds. I mean, fuck, how late into the generation did we see 2D anime-style games? And that's fine if you like that kind of thing. Like, I'm one of those people that likes that kind of thing. Like, I still love Metal Slug because I love the little sprites and little animations and everything like that. But Westerners fell out of love with that well before Japan did. So Japan kept using this same formula. And let's be honest, like, Japan doesn't really demand a lot of change in their media or video games.
Like, that's why every
fucking video game, every fucking anime is kind of a carbon copy high school version of another anime. And most of the time, that's fine. They find a formula that's successful, and they enjoy it, and kind of becomes this weird, almost tradition thing of this is how you do it. Westerners are a little bit more, okay, but now give me something new. Okay, but now give me something new. So I think that in Japan, in Japanese culture, I'm not saying that what they did was wrong, but I'm saying it wasn't understood by the Western audience who kept going like, why do we still have these cartoony fucking graphics instead of something real?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I could agree with that. You know, they were just doing because that's just Japanese culture in general. They stick with what works. They keep doing it, but it stopped working eventually when it comes to video games. So they had to kind of reinvent things, and now they're finally on the ball. And ironically enough, they've learned things from the Westerners. The main example I always use is they're using the same engines for games now instead of rebuilding everything from scratch for every single game. They're like, fuck it, Unreal Engine 4, let's just make the game. So that's pretty smart of them to do that instead of, remember that, Brett, back in the day, every new game, every Final Fantasy game, new engine. Every game had a new engine.
Every game had its own in-house developed engine. But here's the other thing I think that needs brought into the discussion. We developed a market over here, right? Like, back in the day, more video games were sold in Japan. It was a more acceptable thing, kind of like manga, kind of like anime. A lot of the same thing. The market for adult audiences playing video games took way longer to develop over here, but when it eventually did, it captured a new kind of gaming, and that's when you saw the liftoff of all the Western audience. That's when you saw people drifting away from Japanese-based games, is because there was more of a market being created here. So it wasn't necessarily taking consumers and changing their minds; it was new consumers coming onto the playing field.
Yeah, pretty much. It's interesting stuff, man. Anything else you guys want to say about this PS4 sales in Japan or West? By the way, so Carlos, again, 40 million in Europe. That's how many PlayStation 4s have been sold.
Yeah, 40 million in Europe, which is more than North America and Japan combined.
All right. I was confused by the numbers. I'm like, okay, you have 30 million sold in America. Was it 9 million in Japan, 8 million in Japan, 7 million in Germany? And I'm like, the numbers don't add up, but if you have 30 million, then 40 million, then you have other millions. I guess that works. I'm not good at math, people.
Yeah, it's 40 million in Europe.
Yeah, in Europe. Okay, so you have 40 million plus 30, that's 70, 30, right?
33, which is North America.
Do you have Asian? Because I guess they lump them all together.
Well, it's two major territories. It's three major territories and then rest of the world. So it's North America, Europe, and Japan. Those are the three.
Okay, gotcha.
Three big ones, and then rest of the world.
Gotcha.
It has it at 99 right now. The total.
Yeah.
For PS4s.
Very
So
interesting.
Stupid question that somebody will be able to answer.
Why is it?
Why is it? Okay, so the Chinese market, huge in movies. What kind of restrictions are we looking at in video games?
There actually is quite a bit of restrictions. In fact, the console market in China is distant, especially in mainland China. Actually, it's actually PC gaming that's actually quite huge for them.
I mean, I can see that because we never hear about reports from China ever.
No, we don't.
You don't hear any reports from China. The only place that you really hear anything from is from Hong Kong. Everywhere, mainland China did not. They just had such huge bars on console games and PC and games, so that people just eventually just started PC gaming. Nintendo did exist over there, but they were licensed through a Chinese company, so they had those consoles there, but really it didn't work there. And if you remember, they also don't have that history with it. Like you remember, like when they were saying that the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3 could run a missile or something like that, or whatever weirdity they said. Yeah, those consoles weren't actually not allowed to be in sale in China. And even now, like it's mostly PC games and phone games.
It's going to be a huge shift when that market opens up.
I mean, here's the thing. I think they're starting to sell stuff, sell those consoles there, but I definitely think it's because PC is such a massive thing over there. And, I think that's why it still hasn't really caught on.
Okay, so hypothetical wild speculation time. If China did open up its market for a console, which do you think it would be? Like, is their view on China, or on Japanese gaming and culture going to affect what happened? Because I mean, I know that they have a love affair with Western culture, so I would almost feel like Xbox would be the one to thrive there.
It probably would, because also again PCs.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Xbox is on PC now.
Xbox is PCs, so yeah, it would probably be that sort of stuff. But again, it's such a weird market over there, and it's phone games and it's PC games. That's why there's so many. If you over there, also there's so many MMOs that they make. There's a lot of MMOs that they play over.
Dude,
there.
What is with Korea and MMOs?
Mm-hmm. Also, Korea is also very PC centric.
Oh yeah, they don't buy consoles over there.
Oh, by the way, I got to give some Glorious War some love. He's been throwing a lot of shit at us, man. Thank you for the bits. So he goes, I think PS4 has sold 3 million in China. Every game is delayed. He's talking about China. Every game is delayed because it has to pass the censors by the government. Yeah, that's also true.
There's a lot of censorship that has to happen. If you remember the whole PUBG thing, where they had to remove a bunch of things like having to do with gambling in casinos again, and also they don't like black people over there.
Oh, man,
wait, is that really a thing?
Oh yeah,
in China. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
There was this when it came to like they see urban culture as criminal culture, and they don't want it there.
Yeah, they kind of like, I'm not gonna say outlaw, or they could have. Who knows with those communists? But they've kind of clamped down on it. It's like they don't want that. They don't want urban culture infecting theirs. They specifically said that.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're
Brett. Can I just say something?
Yo.
Like, thinking about a country being racist against black people shouldn't be as big of a shock as
that's right. Think about it. America's probably the nicest, and look how fucked up we are.
I'm constantly just amazed by how shitty people can be sometimes.
Yeah, no, the Chinese dude. Trust me, dude. Chinese people are very. They don't like our brothers and sisters, man. It's fucked up, but that's how it is. Think about when they changed the movie posters.
They do well over there.
Which one?
I mean, they Rush Hour and all those.
Because who's in it? Who's in it?
But it's also had someone of color, so it's not like they boycott that.
I'm pretty sure Jackie Chan's in front of the posters, bro.
Yeah.
They like edit out. Is it Finn?
Yeah, Finn.
Finn.
Posters, right?
And
Star Wars.
It was either removed from the poster or they made him smaller on the poster.
Mm-hmm.
They made another one of the characters bigger.
Yeah. By the way,
Did they do that with The Rock?
Well, he's not. You know,
The Rock is kind of in between. I think he's
Nobody knows what The Rock is.
the Rock doesn't know what he is.
The Rock is a perfect multicultural person because you can be anything.
Yeah, right. That's true. Glorious Word says they banned Winnie the Pooh in China because the president for life. By the way, the president didn't like a meme about him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, like they keep talking like I've heard about this. Some people insinuated he looked like Winnie the Pooh, and he got like for no reason. Like, there's not any underlying thing behind this. Like, oh, he's a fat guy that wears no pants or anything. They're just like, hey, he looks kind of like Winnie the Pooh, which he doesn't. It was just a thing, and he got so mad about it that everybody just started saying it to piss him off, and now it's become this huge thing.
I think also there was also this photo of him. I think with Trump and him and Trump holding hands or something like that.
Uh-oh.
And they put a picture of Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh up or something like that.
Oh my god!
Oh man! Yeah. All right, let's move on. This was a fun story. Okay, so you guys know how Insomniac Games they belong to Sony now. Sony bought them, right? So Sony actually, and they made this official, or made the official announcement because people were speculating.
Did they change your Facebook status?
Yes, they did. Sunset Overdrive, the franchise, is now owned by Sony people.
Well, we knew that. What? That wasn't nothing new because Phil said they only owned the first game. They didn't own the franchise.
No, they owned the franchise. Sony made it official. That's what I'm
I'm talking about Phil, Microsoft. Yeah. They said they never owned it. They said they only owned the game because remember, Insomnia said they didn't want to be bought or owned by any other studio or any other company. So they said they wanted to just make their own games, and that's their own game. But they made that one game for Microsoft, so that version will never go on PlayStation, but a sequel will.
Yeah, well, then again, you did see Mass Effect, so you never know.
I mean, Sony could always just, Sony and Microsoft are talking now, so they could easily just call, hey,
Sunset
Microsoft,
Overdrive repainted or something, resprayed.
Sunset Overdrive game, can we take that? We'll just take that off your hands.
By the way, you ponies, the engine that you love in Spider-Man, guess where it started first? I'm just saying.
Sunset. So that means the new Sunset Overdrive is going to be awesome. It's going to have they're going to be like sticking on walls and grinding on rails.
Well, I think we discussed this before. If Sony lets them, they're going to be like, no, you're the Spider-Man company now.
They're the Spider-Man company, but you know what? It would, if they did let them do their own thing, which I think Sony does. Allow their company.
Yeah, that is true.
They allowed their companies to do other games. I mean, Last of Us wouldn't exist if they didn't, right?
Or Horizon Zero Dawn,
all those games. So they, Death Stranding. They let their guys do their things.
Yeah.
What is Polyphony Digital working on?
Polyphony? Yeah, they only do one.
Yeah, I don't know what Polyphony is, Brian.
Here's the funny thing about Polyphony Digital.
It's because Homeboy takes forever to make these games.
I think he likes just doing car games.
Yeah.
Has he? What other games that guy did? Because I mean, they're all been racing games.
I think that's all he likes to do, and then he spends like 7 years working on like a tire of one car and shit.
Wasn't it one of his early titles, a like cartoon racing game that he did? So he's kind of always been into racing.
Yeah,
which is interesting. He's like, nah, I'm not going past my wheelhouse. I'm just racing.
Yeah, maybe Sony came up to him and was like, yo, can you make a different game? Nah, I want to keep making racing.
Meanwhile, the guys that make the Pokemon games are like, oh god damn it, can we make a game that's not Pokemon already?
Aren't they finally going to do that too?
Which they are.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. That town game.
Yeah. Kazunori Yamauchi. There you go.
Yeah.
Here's what I don't understand about that. Like, I get wanting to make a different kind of game, but I don't understand, like it should just be like, yeah, keep making Pokemon, make another type of game on top of that. And maybe kind of like, I don't know, take a Miyazaki kind of approach to it. Like, all of his games are kind of Soulsy. Even when they go a different direction, they're still kind of Soulsy. Play to your strengths. Like, the thing I just hate is when a company goes out and does something so drastically different and then fails so hard at being able to do it. Like, we're going to make a strategy game. Like, you've never made a strategy game in your life. Like, yeah, sure, well, we'll be able to do it. And then it's mediocre at best. Like, there is something to be said for, you've learned to do things, you're good at these things, try and keep doing some of these things. I'm not saying don't make other games, I'm just saying continue making your main franchises. Like the last thing I want to see is somebody stopping a big franchise for a side project that they've always wanted to do. But at least, play to your strengths and do something. Like, if they were going to make a Pokemon game that's different, maybe make a game kind of like Pokemon, so that it has all the elements that maybe the people who wanted to play Pokemon wanted to play, but make it different.
The thing is that, like, the company that makes Pokemon games, that's actually that was their version of what an RPG was. They did other games before that, like platformers and stuff like that, and that was just other thing that they did. But it just so happened to be the thing that became incredibly popular.
Well, because
Drill Dozer is a really great game. Didn't do incredibly well, but it was a good game.
It was good for what it was, but okay, you can't expect a bag of chips to be as satisfying as like a baked potato. It's just, there is something about the RPG genre and the collectible, like the thing that really made it different was, like, yeah, it was their take on an RPG, but name me another RPG where you can just capture enemies and use them as characters. Like, it was a very unique idea, and it's one that what? You can't Pokemon people in Mass Effect.
Oh no, you said capture enemies and use them.
Well, okay, I still want to see this mechanic in a game, because like I've seen it before. Like, there used to be a whole genre based around it, like Monster Rancher and shit. It's kind of disappeared. It's one that I honestly don't understand why it disappeared. Like, I would love somebody, like, I had thought when I had first heard about Astral Chain that it was going to be that you got your Astral Chains from the enemies you defeated or captured, and that turned out not to be the case, and I was a little bit disappointed, but I still want to see that mechanic. So, like, even though, like, yeah, sure, Game Freak, go off and make another game, but, like, maybe take some of those things that you've learned to do really well and apply them to something that's less restrictive. That's all I'm saying. Don't make a racing game.
Brett and I disagree completely. I say don't do that, because my reasoning is, why go through and do stuff that's kind of similar to what you've done because you know you can do it? Why not try something completely different that you've not done before? Like, step outside your comfort zone. Okay, surely if it doesn't work, then that's fine. You still have your bread and butter there, that you know that, hey, you know what? It's like saying, hey, you know what? Let's say I write news for a living, right? And then let's say that one day you say to yourself, I want to try out and be a professional athlete. It's completely outside my comfort zone. It has nothing to do with what I do anyway. My skills aren't there, but you know what? It's something I want to try. You try it out, it goes bad. You still have your day job to fall back on. So, I'm sorry, Brett, I disagree with that. Because then you end up with what From Software are doing, which is pretty much Souls, but flavored Souls. I mean, we can sit here and argue about Sekiro, Bloodborne, Demon Souls, Dark Souls. They're all pretty much the same game.
The different flavors of the same dessert. I absolutely agree.
3D Dot Heroes, which, again, Tony and I absolutely love that game.
Yes.
Hey, I fucking love 3D Dot Heroes.
I mean, we can
I love 3D Dot Heroes too!
Yeah,
we can get 3D Dot Heroes if companies just try something different. And I'd rather have 3D Dot Heroes than another Souls game. I'm sorry, but I'm just at the point now, it's like, hey, look, From Software doing a Souls game. Oh, wow.
And I agree with that, but what was the biggest complaint I heard on fucking Anthem? Like, why is BioWare making this kind of game? This is not the kind of game BioWare can make. This is not where their strengths lie.
Because people have pigeonholed BioWare as the RPG people, which I don't like pigeonholing companies into that. I'd rather them just be like, hey, we are a game company, we make video games.
Well, they certainly didn't succeed at a Division-style game. I mean, yes, people have the right to do these. More often than not, they're not successful. And I'm not saying not to do them. I'm saying to do them in smaller, more experimental phases. And if they hitch on, like, yeah, you should absolutely, like, if you're a member of a band, right? Like, absolutely, you should continue playing the set and continue with the band that you're playing. But like, do some smaller experimental stuff. Have 5 other small bands and see if one of them takes off in the meanwhile. And the one that does, that's the one you invest a little bit more attention to. 3D Dot Heroes was kind of more of a low budget experimental game. It wasn't, it was AAA, but it wasn't a high priority game. And that gave them a little bit more room to play around. And that's one of the things that made it successful. Portal's kind of the same thing. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't play around. I'm saying play around in the small pool with, lighter resources, see what catches. Like, I think we should have micro games. I think that we should have some kind of demo as a pitch for a game, right? Like the Silent Hill demo. Like, that would have made an excellent game. Like, you put something out there, it gets mimetic, it goes viral, and it would fund the rest of the game. You could put that out 2-3 years. I mean, how people are still asking for this fucking game. Like, I would love to see short, small versions of games or demo levels of games, especially since we're not making new fucking engines for every game. Like, put something together, pitch it out there, see what picks up. I would love for there to be, because if that happened, that would mean more games, right? Like, we could still get the number of games that we have, plus 12 demos every 6 months, and the top 2 get made into full-fledged games. You could incite community. You could pull a Stan Lee, like, get the people involved, and maybe that would stop with some of this ceaseless console warfare bullshit. Like, give people somewhere to put their energy, to let their voices be heard, and we could actually all impact the types of games that are being made. The only thing I'm saying is don't invest the bank in it, right? Like, don't make your game and then be like, okay, well, Bethesda should not step back from making the next Skyrim. They should not. I don't care how much they don't want to make another Skyrim. Or another Elder Scrolls. Fucking make one. This is what built the empire since the days of the first Xbox. This is what your fans want. Do what your fans want. But then, yeah, try and make something else. And every once in a while, you're going to get a break. Sure, it happens. But this whole thing is the reason I don't come down on so hard on Bethesda for Fallout 76. Like, they didn't put a lot of resources into it. They didn't invest a lot of time in it. They developed it parallel to their other game. But weirdly enough, I'm the only one saying, hey, good try. Try to make it better. Keep it up. I applaud you. Like, I'm the only one applauding that. Everybody else is saying, like, they should have tried to make this kind of game, or they should have invested way more resources into something that they didn't know was going to take off. Like, where's the middle ground? How do you make people happy?
You can't. I started to sound like an asshole. You can't. You just have to throw shit and see what happens,
There has to be, I believe that in terms of cynicism, but there has to be a way to trick people into being happy.
No, you can't do that. You can't trick people into being happy. Nobody's ever fucking happy, dude.
It all depends on the way that you put it out there. Like I said, like, and maybe I thought of it off the cuff of my head, but like, if we had a greenlight program, if Sony or Microsoft developed a greenlight program where they could put up games demos or ideas for games, and then see how much interest they gauge, that just looks like more. We've talked before about it. It sucks when you take things off the table, but it's generally well received when you put things on the table. So if we had a way or an avenue for people to voice their opinions on what kind of game should be made, on what features they want to see, and that would expand the amount of games that we get and be a safer bet for developers, like, how would people be mad at that? Would they just get mad that their game didn't get made?
Probably. They're going to find something to be mad about,
We need to find a way to break out of the cycle of safe games, because I think that's the base problem of what we're having here.
Safe games only happen when you have lots of really high budgets.
That's true.
When it's a low budget game, nobody gives a shit. Everybody, you can do all kinds of crazy stupid stuff, and then it just there's nothing behind it. Advancement doesn't have. It is rare when there's an experimental game that is a full big budget game. That's like giving Tim Burton a bunch of money.
Yeah, but we can't just flood the market
what's with the Death Stranding? Like, what's the budget on that?
Who knows?
I mean, here's the thing. I don't know. It seems like it might be a lot.
They've got Norman Reedus in it. It costs a lot of money.
It seems like it's a lot. It seems like it's a lot.
What do you mean it seems like a lot? Norman Reedus alone isn't cheap.
No, I mean, he's on TV, so he is kind of cheap.
Shit, Jeff Keighley's in this shit.
Jeff Keighley's in it.
He's not. Here's the thing: Norman Reedus and Mads Mikkelsen aren't top of the food chain. They didn't get like fucking Sylvester Stallone or somebody who's like a real like a film.
Nobody gets real movie stars. The fact that we have actual notable people that are being paid for their likeness in a video game alone is somewhat rare. And the fact that we're talking about a guy who's like,
Call of Duty.
That guy from this thing. We all know his name. We all know who Norman Reedus is.
I mean, here's the thing: like Call of Duty games have way bigger stars than those games that they. Like
that is true.
Really?
They literally had
like
Angela Bassett. What's his face? Who recently got Me Too'd? What's his face?
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey.
They had the guy from Game of Thrones. They had
recently that shit was
what's the guy from House of Cards? What's his name?
Yeah,
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin
Kevin
Spacey.
Spacey. Yeah, we just said him.
Yeah.
I know Call of Duty, but it's Call of Duty. They got money like that, It's interesting.
I do remember.
Yeah, the Call of Duty games like have way bigger hot top of the food chain. Like,
Mahoney.
That's because they got that crazy ass money.
Yeah, they got the Activision.
Death Stranding has to be an expensive game.
I'm not saying it is. You know it is.
I definitely think it is a very expensive game.
Hey, Brett.
Despite them using, an engine that's already in their wheelhouse and all that stuff. I mean, here's a weird thing about it. It's like there is a bunch of like advertising that's in the game, like Monster Energy drink and all kinds of other kooky stuff that are in it.
I think we should focus most of our energy trying to figure out what the hell this game is about. Let alone know how much this fucking game costs, man.
It's really about Monster Energy drink. That's the crux of it all.
Well, see, here's the thing. Like this guy, like he wrote like a article saying that Death Stranding could possibly be an analogy to how the USA is divided.
Oh, I saw that.
When I read that, I was like, wow, I never really thought of that. I mean, it makes sense now I think about it. I mean, the game is set in the UCA, United Countries of America. I mean, I never thought that would be an analogy to the USA. I mean, wow.
See, this is the higher bullshit that I was talking. Make shit intentionally vague enough.
Oh no, he's not making it vague.
That's pretty fucking obvious.
I have every weird life. Like I feel very confident in him to be able to produce a high quality game. I just don't know how weirdly inaccessible. Like, because we could come to a game where like I don't understand what this game is or what it means. It's just, and it's going to be odd enough that like my fear is that there's not going to be concrete answers, that we're going to be left to project our own shit onto this game. Miyazaki buries shit, but at least there is a definitive answer there eventually.
Here's the thing about Kojima games. On the surface, you get what's going on, and I think this is not going to be any different than any previous game. You're going to know what's going to happen. And then there's the overly complicated yet simple backstory to things, you know. Yeah, that's the way all Metal Gear games are. It's like Metal Gear. The crux of a Metal Gear game is like there is a conspiracy. You need to stop there's the surface thing, which is like beat the bad guys. Then there's a conspiracy. That's the way it always kind of is.
Well, there seems to be a very clear theme, but a very convoluted plot is generally what I've pulled away.
That's the way. Like, it's the long way around. That's the way his games work. It's not. It's never a direct route. It's always the long way around to get there. And if you think about it, it's almost a metaphor for the actual game. It's the long way around. You're walking everywhere.
You're almost fucking genius, man. Oh man. All right.
I'm gonna play this game, and I'm gonna play this game all the way through, even if I hate it, just so I can talk shit on it.
Yeah. Oh, bad. Yeah. Glorious words gonna love that.
I mean, here's the thing. I'm gonna say
I've been talking shit about it. You haven't even played it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I'm not okay. I'm not.
Brett wants revenge for Fallout 76. Man, he's gonna get all these motherfuckers.
Nah, it ain't like that. It ain't like that. No, it's not so much like. Weirdly enough, it sounds like I'm hating on this game. I'm not. I'm just kind of the counterbalance to everybody being weirdly overly psyched while still not understanding a goddamn thing about the game.
Again,
Adam don't give a fuck, man.
Is this
He
just in
wants
general or
Throwdown.
The internet, come on, the internet collectively is shitting its pants for this game.
For this training, there's a lot of hype for it.
I wouldn't say
yeah.
the internet. I'd say there's a select few, like the Kojima stands, as they call themselves.
Yeah,
I think those
That is what I call myself.
are
This is true.
Definitely shitting themselves. Everyone else is kind of like, what the fuck?
Brian,
I think
it's Kojima stands and ponies. For the
I feel like it's more. I've heard more. I've heard from more people that it's hard to get excited for this game. Stuff like that. Like, in other words, people who don't know what to make of the game.
Okay.
I see more of that talk than people just being outright just crazy excited for it.
Oh, okay. Well, then my actual stance, just to put the record straight, is that's pretty much where I am. It's hard to get excited for this game because I don't understand what's supposed to be going on. But I love Kojima games, and I kind of fell off the Metal Gear track around Metal Gear 3. And it never really felt like jumping back into it, and I've often said, like, I wish Kojima would make a game other than Metal Gear. And so here's my chance. So I'm intrigued, I'm curious, but I'm finding it difficult to get excited because it's just, I don't know what's going on. And that's generally not, like, I like to be teased, I don't like to be confused with shit like, and maybe I'm just getting old and cynical, but like I'm like, this better not be some Lost style bullshit. Like, you better have some fucking answers for me, Kojima. And you, from what I understand and what I found out, he generally does. He generally doesn't leave like loose threads hanging around, but he's also very thematic. So I don't know how he's going to approach a story like this. I'm conflicted. I'm so conflicted over this game.
Don't be. I just don't like it. That's all. It's okay to say that.
Yeah.
No, well, Kojima makes really awesome games, and I'm not a huge fan of the like. I like rogue paramilitary stuff, but like that's just too it has too much of that Gundam feel to it. Like, it's just in the sense of like it's a lot of military nuance, and I just get bored with Metal Gear. So, and I know that's sacrilegious to fucking say, but 3 was just too much, man. It was too much, and y'all know what I mean by that.
No, that's the greatest game of all time. What are you talking about? That game's fantastic. That's one of the simpler Metal Gear games, bro. You're talking about 4 if you want to get complicated. Metal Gear Solid 3, you could play Metal Gear Solid 3 and never have played a single Metal Gear game and understand, because it has a definitive beginning, middle, end. It is a game onto itself. It's not complicated at all. You're thinking about 2. That game was fucking crazy.
No, you know? I loved 2.
Yeah,
I loved 2, and I thought like 1 was amazing, and I loved 2. I played through 3, and I think I played through some of 4. 3 was the one that was pretty much just a long cinematic, right?
No, that's 4, dude. That's just 4.
Okay, yeah.
3 was the one that took place in the past. Remember, with Big Boss.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, remember you're like going through the jungles and shit.
Okay, yeah, no, it's 4 that I should be talking shit on then.
Yeah, and even though 4 was fucking amazing too.
Yo, 4
was a fucking movie.
Yeah, and it was an awesome movie. You know, there you go.
It had more more gameplay time than freaking a game like, for example, what's the name of the one that everyone shits about? Because it's so short.
That's a lot of games, bro.
The Order 1886.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's more gameplay time in Metal Gear 4 than there is in The Order.
Oh, come on. We got more collective gameplay time a piece out of Sea of Thieves than we got out of that game.
Oh, man. By the way, Techno Fabulous says, Brett won't ever get revenge for Fallout 76 unless he sells it. He gets a full refund.
How is that revenge?
Yeah, like he likes the game, bro.
Yeah, why do I need revenge? Like the only thing that I kind of have to laugh at myself about is like all y'all people talking shit are gonna have 2 choices when November rolls around. They're gonna like do a heavy overhaul in the game, and you y'all forgave Division. So you can either be hypocrites or you can try the game again.
Then no. No one forgave Division, especially Division 2. I did the first one.
No. The second one. I'm not talking about the second one. I'm saying the first Division game released a broken, shitty mess and turned into a decent game.
Hey, Brett,
I didn't get to that point. I was like, I dropped that shit after I hit level 30. I'm like, I'm done. Never came back into the second one.
All I'm saying is, if you say these are all the problems that I have with the game, and then the developer goes and they correct all of those problems, and you're still like, meh, the game still sucks. Like, you really can't do that.
Yeah,
you at least have to try it again. You at least have to try it again before you can continue to talk shit.
Yeah, so listen to Brett, people.
No, all I'm saying is the people that are talking shit, my response is, come November, going to be like, have you played the expansion? Then shut your damn mouth.
Oh.
So prepare to shell out some money to talk some shit. I've done it before. Y'all know I've done it before. I've bought games. I'm like, come on. I know this game is not going to be my thing, but let's see what's up.
Yeah. So there you go, people. Brett is issuing a challenge to you. Will you accept it?
I mean, fuck. You can come in and join in the party.
It's funny. Tony said quiet. If I will wait for somebody to jump in. Nobody
else can.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody on this panel is going to jump in with me.
Yeah. Well, listen, I already said, because you said all the, like, if they're going to address all the problems I had, my main problem with this game is it's online. Are they going to fix that? I don't, by the way, I'm like, listen, unless it says 5 at the end of it, I don't care. I've said that already.
You don't like these types of games anyway.
I don't.
So, like, that's why, like, I'm not being like, I'm not being like, who on the panel is going to play this? Because, like, I mean,
keep it real.
Carlos might be the only person that would, maybe Chris?
Yeah, I said I
you said you come back with me.
You come back to me.
It's just not most people's games. Like, it's not Manny's type of game for fucking
What
sure.
game is it?
No.
Fallout 76, man.
Okay.
No, it's too. There's too. I couldn't deal with it.
Well, I don't know if you like regular Fallout games to begin with.
No, he doesn't.
Let's just say I've never played a Bethesda game ever.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be a bit to jump in for you. Yeah, and so the only people that should play this game are people that are fans of Fallout.
I need the Pokemon version of Fallout.
The whole point of Fallout is that
Fallout
there is no
Shelter
Pokemon version.
Yeah.
I guess that's true.
I need the Pokemon version of Fallout to get into it.
Give Fallout Shelter. I'm really interested to see Outer Worlds because it's going to be.
It sounds real funny. Have you seen
but it's going to be a Bethesda game without Bethesda, and like, see, this is where it gets real interesting because you're going to be able to interact with everything with the environment, or is it going to be more of a game like Rage? Because I feel like it's going to play more like Rage, so it'll be funny, it'll have a lot of choices, but it's still not going to feel like a Bethesda game. I don't think they're going to be able to replicate that. Or if they're even trying to.
I'm going in a new direction. It looks alright. I'm excited.
Big Bad CeeLo says, I'm 30 minutes into Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. Which one should I jump back into?
If you play Fallout... Oh, shit, man. Each one has their own thing. If you play Fallout 4, you're going to get used to really good graphics, and then go back to 3 and everything's fucking brown and terrible looking. But 3 has a more robust storyline.
But enough about Justin Trudeau.
Oh.
3 is a more robust storyline and a better dialogue sequence. Like, 4's dialogue is kind of in the sense that you really have 3 of the same kind of options, and then one, here's the good guy option, here's the snarky good guy option, here's the reluctant good guy option. In 3, you have the option to be, here's the good guy option, and here's a straight up asshole move. So you can be a complete dickbag in Fallout 3, where you kind of have to be the good guy in Fallout 4, so it's a bit more restrictive. But Fallout 4 has settlement building and lighting effects. So if you're a visual guy like me, I'd probably play 3 and then go into 4. Because 4 also has, like, the settlement building creates emergent narrative, in my opinion. Especially if you play it on survival mode. You actually have a game where you'll be wandering to your next quest mission, and then you'll be like, oh shit, I'm running out of water, I'm running out of food. Hey, there's an abandoned gas station. Have to go into that abandoned gas station. You fight off some things, and they're like, hey, free trash. And because it's Fallout 4 and not Fallout 3, you're actually building a settlement. There's a reason to pick up that desk fan and that light and all that other shit, because you can turn it into wiring and scaffolding and build yourself a new sweet castle or whatever. In 3, it's just like you're just like digging through a trash pile, like spoon, fork, spoon, tin can, piece of trash. Ooh, a gun. So the experiences get really different. The settlement building adds a lot to it. So if you're into settlement building, I would definitely play Fallout 4 second, because if going back to Fallout 3 after that is just going to feel restrictive.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to Big Bad CeeLos for the subscription, brother. Forgot to give you a shout out earlier, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, man, appreciate that. And Manny, Technofabulous says since you don't like Fallout 76, that's all that he needs to not play it. Like, your word is law to him.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, there's a specific reason why I don't get involved with any of the Fallout games. There's just so
it drains time. It's time consuming, those games.
Yeah, there's just so much to it that I cannot. I know myself, and I know that I'll get obsessive when it comes to looking for all the different things in the environment. So it's not that I hate Fallout games. It's more that I don't get involved because I know what'll happen. I'll lose myself in it, and I don't want that, especially with the amount of stuff that I have to do per day. I can't do that.
You didn't play Red Dead 2 for the same reason, right?
I didn't play. I haven't played Red Dead 2 yet because
so since his word is law, you shouldn't play Red Dead 2 either.
I just haven't played it yet because there's just so much to the game that I couldn't sit down and do it as of yet. I guess I only got to like the.
Whoa, hold on. Wait, one's you're not going to do it, and the others you haven't gotten to yet. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Why is the difference?
Well, with Red Dead,
Manny's been a fan of Red Dead since Red Dead Revolver. That's why.
Yeah, I've been a fan of Red Dead since Red Dead Revolver. So I want to really play it. There's nothing in Fallout that really makes me want to play. Like I don't like the world doesn't seem very interesting to me. I also don't
shut your whore mouth,
Manny. Just keep it real. The game looks fucking ugly to you.
And the game looks kind of ugly.
Yeah, it is. It is. She's not pretty. Then again,
she's not pretty.
Then again,
I think
we're talking not pretty.
But I think a lot of people. I think the look of the game gets it's the same gimme that Grand Theft Auto gets, right? So like Grand Theft Auto got the gimme despite how glitchy the game was, and despite how not very pretty the game was, it still got a gimme because of because the amount of things that you can do in the game. Same thing I feel with a lot of those sorts of Bethesda-ish, those newer Bethesda-ish games, like the Dragon Age, not Dragon Age, what is that one? Oblivion, whatever the hell that series.
Skyrim.
Yeah, Skyrim and Fallout. They're not lookers, but the thing is that the amount of things that you can do in the game kind of trumps the fact that the fact that the game doesn't look exactly pretty, and the fact that the game is glitchy as fuck.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the character models for the most part. Like Bethesda's never been real strong at attractive character models.
I think, yeah. Okay. Have you ever made an attractive looking character in that game?
Oh, I can make an attractive looking character in any game. I'm actually very proud of that fact.
Except for Red Dead.
No, Tony, you saw my hot Red Dead chick. I managed to do it. I remade my character 4 times and sent you screenshots when I finally did it.
Oh, okay.
I made it.
Yeah.
I managed to make a hot chick in Red Dead.
Yeah, that took you a lot because I remember you were like, I can't make a hot chick in this fucking game.
Yeah, no, I was pissed. I was like, I give up. I'm just not going to make a hot chick in Red Dead. And I was like, you know what? I have not failed to make a hot chick. I have fought every fucking character creator on the face of the planet, and I always managed to make an awesome hot chick. And this is going to be like, I'm just going to admit failure? I'm going to throw in the towel? And so I went back and I was like, no, fuck it. I'm going to do it. I reset my character 4 times on that game.
Man.
Just tried to make a hot chick, failed. Tried to make a hot chick, failed. Made a rambling Irish dude, and then I was like, you know what? Fuck this. Went back, spent like 3 hours in the character creator. Made a hot chick.
It's funny. Like for a game like Monster Hunter, you have a lot of things that you can move around. It's actually really difficult to make a character that's ugly in Monster Hunter.
It is because
for some reason that game has it to a point where like no matter how bad it doesn't look bad.
Dude, it's Japanese games.
But what are you talking? But then you look at a game like Bloodborne, right? Or Bloodborne or any of the other Souls game, but you could totally make a friggin' mountain freak.
Okay, Bloodborne gives you way too many options, and people go out of their way to make horrible monsters. They're like, oh, like I can remake Shrek, and so they will make deformed blue monsters. Like it's just something that happens. But like even playing Black Desert, I was like any pretty much Asian style game, you're just like, you cannot make an unattractive character in this game. Everybody looks like a hot anime character. There's just no getting around it.
Oh shit! I forgot Rambo's out.
Yeah.
Hey,
Rambo.
Yeah.
if she's pukes at the airport, call me baby killer.
I have it in a happy place.
Speaking of somebody who looks like they were made in a failed character creator.
Oh.
He's actually.
Damn, Adam, you gonna let him talk to you like that?
You was
Oh shit!
He's
I don't care if you make fun of me. It's alright. It's alright.
It's
funny. You don't live my life. You don't live my life. Life is hard.
Oh, that's perfect. What were you gonna say, Manny?
Well, you know, with him, it's like it's been a slow progression. Like he looked.
What do you mean him? Still my name.
Then he's slowly been melting.
Oh god.
Like Mick
Melting
Jagger.
and expanding. Sorry, because he's been taking HGH.
By the way, and this includes Chris and Manny on this panel. Fuck you guys, man. You got your Sega shit, man. I'm still waiting on mines, man. What the fuck?
Oh yeah!
Oh shit!
Look at that Twitter. Everybody's tweeting this shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Where's my
Oh,
joint?
man.
And for me, it was like I was the first one to get it. Like I literally got
Yeah,
it. Like,
hold on, let's see it. Put that shit on screen, man.
Oh yeah!
Yeah, baby.
Oh yeah! I actually did. I was thinking we should do an unboxing, and I left it. You know, I opened it up and put it back in the box again.
Yeah, we could do that when we get back from a certain place.
Yeah, we can do that.
You know,
that's the ticket.
that'll be fun.
I mean, you guys going to Shake Shack or something?
Yeah, we're going to Shake Shack, man. That's where we're going.
Going to Shake Shack.
By the way, if you see
Going to
my
Starbucks, actually.
yeah, if you see my tweets, you know exactly where I'm going. What the fuck? Oh yeah, well, last segment. Something small. So E3 2020, they're pitching it as, and this is kind of a leaked document which has been verified, so it's true. It's from the ESA, some internal shit they had going on. It's going to be a fan, media, and influencer festival. That's what they're calling it now. So it's not a convention, it's a festival. Very
So now they're rebranding. So
and when you go, like for example, when you go into the West Hall, which is like the first place right across, man, you know where the press rooms are, Chris. You know that place. When you go in there, they're gonna have eight quote unquote experience places where you're gonna see people like basketball players playing video games. I am not making this up.
oh come on, they're gonna put it behind some fucking glass.
Yeah, basically,
Yeah, probably.
basically.
No, that is not fucking gaming, guys.
Yeah.
God damn it.
So
Look at friggin' PAX. That's fucking gaming. Look at what Japan does with TGS. That's fucking gaming. Same thing with Europe. That's fucking gaming. What the fuck is this shit? We're gonna put Jack Black
come on. But PAX is more of a festival. Fair.
It is.
Yeah.
But the thing is that's not a festival. Number one, PAX is not about a fucking celebrity. You know, they're not putting celebrities on fucking game stations and saying, "Hey, look, it's Shaquille O'Neal playing a video game." Who gives a shit what Shaquille O'Neal plays?
Dude, they're desperately trying to show that they have any kind of reach, any kind of power. Like they had big companies bailing on them. Want to show that they don't really put this. They're trying to swing a big dick around to show people that it's still a relevant thing.
No, the thing is, like, how do you make things relevant? You don't go up, you go back down, grassroots. Not this freaking superstar bullshit.
Need a revolution.
No. If they do that, they have to kick more people out and just make it what it was before an industry event.
You gotta appeal to the regular person. That means every single person that's out there that's not spending $1 billion on fucking gaming. That's the people that you need to go to. Right?
I agree, but I think they're doing two opposing things here. Like I think that's exactly what you're talking about. Like I think branding as a festival is actually not a bad idea because technically what they should be is a festival. If you think about PAX,
it should be definitely, because that's kind of what it's been cast as. It's like the biggest gaming thing in the world, so it's like a big festival. I can get that. I understand that sort of idea, but hearing them trying to do like, hey, look, we're gonna put basketball players and influencers.
yeah, no, that's just stupid. That's just stupid. I'm not defending that. I'm just defending the festival part. But the festival sounds like they're trying to go back to roots. They're trying to go back. Like it's not. It doesn't have to be this big thing. We don't need because festival. It doesn't necessarily sound like it matters so much if you don't have big companies doing big shows. Like it's more about the people. It's more about your fellow gamers, and maybe some things get released, and that's cool. It puts less pressure on them to have like a big unveiling.
And it's not, and it's not charging people fucking. How much was it this year? How much was the E3 ticket?
Oh, I have no idea. It was probably a lot of money. Yeah, something like that.
They said they're also doing like a Disney World type weight system.
Yeah, so that way you call it Q-tainment or something like that.
Yeah. In other words, yeah. You get an app. You get an app, and then you come back when they're ready.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
It stops lines.
To kind of alleviate the line. So you come back when you come back to the line. Sony's was doing that for a while too, where you will log into their app and then you can come back whenever your time is ready. But half the time, all the friggin' slots were already taken.
I mean,
I never got any on any of the Sony stuff when they started doing that bullshit.
That's kind of the downside. Is if it's easier to get in line, more people will.
Yeah. So like some of the games, like they're just like, yeah, like I didn't get onto any of the big things because I couldn't, because every single time I logged on the dumb app, everything was gone, and all that was left was some dumb videos. I didn't want to watch a video. But we'll see. But I don't think making this a super expensive sort of thing is the way.
Watch out!
It's coming for you.
I think going back and making it essentially Comic-Con, like Comic-Con just for games, right? Comic-Con, to get into Comic-Con, how much is it now? It's $75 or something like that.
Is it? No.
What is
I think it's more than that.
If you're talking San Diego Comic-Con, it's at least $150 a ticket.
Okay, but for the whole thing, right?
What do you mean?
For the whole thing, for all day.
Multiple days.
Yeah, no. It was for 3 full days. It was about $150.
Yeah. Okay. That's it's not bad. But I mean, to be honest, I think that's fine.
It's for San Diego Comic-Con.
Brett, say that again. You cut out. Yeah, you cut out. Say that again.
Oh, I said for something that size, that's actually not a terrible price.
Yeah.
Especially when you consider there's a lot of concerts there, $150-$200 for just a few hours.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you can do even outside and not even going to the convention. And I noticed that a lot of people were doing that too. Like you can actually just go to San Diego and not actually go to the con.
Yeah, and I think festival also implies a lot.
Bray, you cut out again, man.
I said he went out with the crickets and
yeah, I'm out here with the crickets. Don't mind me.
The crickets are interfering with Brett's.
Yeah, they're electromagnetic cricket wave.
Yeah.
What was I saying? I think festival implies a lot more outdoor activities too. Like when I hear convention, I'm assuming everything's going to be held in a convention hall. When I hear festival, I assume that there's going to be a lot of tents and vendors outside a main centralized area. And yeah, I may have to pay to get into like the main exhibit or the main draw thing, but like at festival or even like a fair kind of thing, like you'll be able to get into most of it for free, but not all of it for free. So again, festival really does imply a lot of what I think that they're going for, and they should have half the convention outside of the actual convention hall. It should be like almost a street fair with the convention in the middle of it.
They kind of do that already. They always have this big thing,
and that's
outside.
What a festival implies, though.
It would involve. I mean, the thing is, it would involve having to close off a lot of that area.
Yeah.
To the thing, like
they don't mind though. Like people in fucking
LA, that part of LA is a very sort of kind of crowded sort of area. I mean, literally it's like literally the what was it, the basketball arena.
Yeah, because the Staples Center is right there. Yeah, because that place is crowded even without E3.
Yeah, but every time you bring something like
that's just the homeless.
Yeah. Holy shit, Skid Row! Have you seen that shit?
I don't know. Like I talked to the people in San Diego, and I know it's kind of a different thing. But like, I asked them like, how do you guys feel about Comic-Con? And like every single one of them said the same thing. Like, yeah, people come in such huge droves that it packs everything, and they lose like a quarter of their downtown area to being blocked. But every single one of them loves it because it brings so much goddamn money into the area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the thing is with E3, they don't really bring in that many people, you know. So, they're not. They do it like E3. Obviously, they do get money off of it, but it's mostly from the companies that buy space there, you know, because all that money goes to the LA government, you know.
Well, and if they attract,
damn those crickets.
Yeah, they attract. Am I cutting out again?
Yeah, you're cutting out. Like as soon as you like it attracts.
Oh, it attracts more local commerce. Like if you're talking about getting money into the hands of small business people, like the people popping up tents and selling hot dogs and shit like that, like it makes them a lot of money. The people, you know, Airbnb or just doing custodial work, like it creates a lot of temporary jobs. So if you do bring a lot of people, it can be really beneficial to the lower sectors of the economy, which is vitally important for people living in these areas. So
yeah, the thing is, like,
really well received.
They don't really have tents and shit like that there, because again, that place is already so full. They don't really have anything like that. All the businesses around the area obviously make more money, but nobody like comes out from like a different part of LA to make camp, as it were. You know what I'm saying? Like they just don't have the room. There's like literally downtown LA. There's no room for any of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then they need to move it.
Yeah, it's mostly the big business guys. They're the ones that make money. You know, or any business that's literally within walking distance of the convention center. They're the ones that, you know, benefit the most.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all big businesses. They're all chains and all that shit.
Hold that shit in Las Vegas.
They could do that. That would be better for them, actually.
Didn't they do it once in Vegas?
Yeah, they did.
Honestly, every fucking convention should be in Vegas.
You know, Torrance Davis, man. That's all I want to say, man. My man's got stories. Oh God. Anything else? I think we're done here, actually. Unless you guys want to bring up anything gaming.
Everybody's still excited about Cyberpunk?
Brian is.
I mean, you know, Brian's a fanboy.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Brian.
Yeah, go ahead. Uh-oh.
What's up, Carlos?
What you been doing, man?
Astral Chain.
Yeah,
Still?
baby.
Did you beat that game? Or is it your...
Yeah, round 2.
Here's Brian.
Plus on everything. Because unlike some people, I like games that give you a challenge.
Oh,
we're talking about you, bro.
No.
No, he ain't talking about nobody on this panel. I know exactly what he's talking about.
I ain't talking about these people that are like, oh, could you give us an easy mode?
Yeah.
I know how to jump and dash at the same time. I'm just saying.
Oh. We ain't talking about no Throwdown pan. Brett, man, when you playing Cup... Oh, and you said you're not playing Cuphead anytime soon, right? It's too crazy. You don't want that kind of stress?
No, actually, I need to play Cuphead. Actually, the reason I had
we need to remind you every 2 years, or 2 months or something like that.
Yeah. Oh no! I got to the point now where I have time to invest in games, and I was saving Cuphead because I want to really try and set aside like a 3-day weekend and just beat it, just straight through. I want to see how quickly I can beat it. I want to see.
That's a challenge. That's a challenge.
That's a challenge I've given myself.
Oh, if you do that, man, props to you, because I wouldn't be able to do that.
Dude, I'm gonna go channel my fucking 10-year-old self and be like, all right, sit down, cross-legged in front of the TV, and fucking do this shit.
Here's the thing about me, though.
Yeah, just real quick. Here's the thing about Cuphead, right?
I think I'm gonna say the same thing Tony's gonna say. By the way.
Okay, go ahead, say it then.
Essentially, I'm gonna paraphrase what I'm thinking you're gonna say. You're gonna die hundreds of times, and the best thing to do is just stop and wait till the next day, and then you'll get better.
That is true. I do agree with that. I was just gonna say, here's the thing: if you're really good at this game, you could beat it in an afternoon. Like my total play time, when I beat it, I think it was like 3 hours total play time. It took me 3 weeks to beat this game. Because it only counts the runs where you win.
Yeah. Oh, I'm aware.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: my personality type is, if I have to joke around, when I encounter a wall, I just slam my face against the wall until the wall eventually gives way. Like I actually had a friend. I'm still not sure if this was a compliment, but I had a friend watching me play video games way back in the day, like way back in the Super NES days. And he just kind of looked at me and goes, huh, you're really not just awesomely good at video games. And I'm like, the fuck's that supposed to mean? He's like, no, I mean, don't take it wrong. Like, you beat all these games. I just kind of assumed that you were like a fucking prodigy. But watching you just go and go and go and go and go until you finally beat it. And I'm like, yeah, that's how you do it. You slowly understand the strategies, and you kind of you work on them until they become muscle memory, and then you just kind of fall back into the glow and unleash the beast, man. Now I probably won't be able to beat it in 3 days. That's just the challenge I set for myself.
Yeah, see, there you go, man. Yeah, no, yeah.
If I can, that's a collar pop right there.
Because I want to gloat. I want to be like, hey, listen, we're the only podcast where the majority of guys who have played Cuphead all beat Cuphead. You know, because a lot of people can't claim that. Even Xbox guys, which I found hilarious. These guys who were touting about Cuphead all day, every day, right? Why is it more PlayStation guys are beating this game than you guys?
Oh, by the way,
what's the completion rate, Carlos? Like 5% and shit. It's like, yo, come on, guys.
Last time I checked, it was like 3% or something.
It's like, yo, come on, guys, you gotta step that shit up. I want to know what. Yo, hold up, I got a question. What is the percentage win on Switch? I want to see how those guys are doing.
That's why I'm playing it. I'm playing it on Switch.
Yeah, you can't. They don't tell you shit, man. They don't have statistics. They don't even have a fucking.
They don't even have the
chat.
internet, man.
They don't have a fucking internet, man. Yo, Chris, I know you got kind of far in the game. Did you ever beat it?
No.
Oh, really?
You fucked up, man.
Chris is muted.
Oh, he's muted. He's probably not around right now.
We need.
Oh, sorry, I was talking into the air.
He pulled a Brett.
Yeah, I opened up the next area. You know, I got stuck on the circus guy, the clown.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we finally beat him, and I unlocked the next area. So yeah, I mean, we made strides. I want to beat it, so I have to go back and finish it.
Yeah, man.
Yo, man, if we can get 4 people to beat it, you excuse me?
You know,
fuck.
Better than those Xbots, man.
I mean, I find it almost offensive how you pose this like it's a question.
Oh, really?
What, you talking to me?
No, to me. Like, are you implying that I'm going to start Cuphead and not beat it? Like, I'll accept.
Oh, no, I said Chris, not Brett.
Okay, I was about to say. No, Chris, dude, this motherfucker went through Dark Souls with me. He'll beat that shit if he wants to.
Oh no, I just asked him if he already beat it. I didn't say he was never gonna beat it. I'm like, yo, Chris, did you beat it yet?
Oh no, you said it if we can get 4 people. So I was like, are you implying that we can't?
No, I mean, Carlos, what?
I mean, you never know, man. I expected you to beat this game 2 years ago, but I mean, you know.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
I only turn on my Xbox once a year. So.
Yeah, right. Throwing shade.
Okay, I am looking at the stats on it on Steam, and where are you? There you are. So 13.6% have completed the game on normal.
Nice.
Whereas 1.4% have completed the game on expert.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say on Xbox.
So if you guys can find the Xbox ones, then you can.
I'll do that right now. Where the hell's Cuphead? Soul Save. Complete the game on normal. 7.17%.
Oh shit!
Damn. People seriously? Seriously? People can't. Like, is there something magically insane about this game that I'm fucking understanding?
You'll see.
There's all different factors in it. It could be that people just don't give a shit and don't have the time. It doesn't necessarily mean that it was too hard. They were just like, you know what? It's not my type of game. I know a lot of people actually.
So which one are you, Adam?
Whenever I have time to play it, because remember, I take screenshots and I send it to you guys.
Yeah, that's right.
Yo, yeah, every time. Oh, me and Tony were doing the same thing.
Yeah,
when we
man.
beat the fucking level, we're fucking boasting
That's
about
how you do it. You got to do it 1986 style.
Yeah, that game. Yeah, because that game, like, you feel so good after you beat these boss after slaving at them for like days and shit. You know, because when that shit clicks, man.
That fucking animation when you beat it, man, it's so fucking. It's almost as satisfying as in a fucking trophy.
Exactly, it's crazy, man. All right, I think we're done here, man. So yeah, little thing need to tell you guys. So we're gonna be going live on Monday for Throwdown Your Questions. Manny and I are going on a little trip. You're gonna find out about that soon. So, and I asked the guys like, hey, do you guys want to just do it yourself on Sunday, or you want to wait for us? They're like, hey, we'll wait for you guys. So that's what we're doing on Throwdown. You know, so yeah, so you have an extra day to submit your questions, people. You know how that goes.
No, what we're gonna get is hate, and it's like, where's the show?
Where is it? I'll kill you. You know. Yeah, Manny, you're muted, or you're not.
Maybe about the time when we actually can say what we're doing. Maybe you can ask us about that.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, because Manny and I, we're going to something. You're gonna know about it. So if you want to ask us about that, we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that.
All right, man, we're wrapping it up. So thank you for watching and listening. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
I'll see you later, guys. Don't forget to pick up Excellence number 5, which dropped this Wednesday. And next week on Tuesday is Contra Road Core.
Yay. Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Bye.
Brett Murdoch.
Deuces.
Adam Vale.
Have a good week, everybody.
And Brian Manjoma.
We live in a world where people are mad at white phosphorus in a game that's had a tactical nuke in it. Because logic.
Oh, man. All right.
But have we gotten the point of view from the black phosphorus?
Yeah, the Justin Trudeau phosphorus. That's the one I want. Oh, man, we have done that shit. All right, people. We'll see you on Monday, man. Later.
Monday.
Justin Trudeau.
The butter game.